Hello Destiny fans, Rainstater here, and today we're going to talk about how to level up to max light as a solo player. If you're like me, you have a full-time job, family, etc., making it so you can't play Destiny for 12 hours a day. You may also play at random times a day, making planning to run events with other players difficult. Or maybe over the years, your friends that played have moved on, but you still love this game and want to get your light high enough to be useful for endgame activities. Whatever your reasons, if you casually play solo, then this is the guide for you. Most leveling guides focus around endgame group activities, like the raid. While we will briefly touch on this near the end of the video, we will be focusing on what you can do solo. Okay, so let's begin. Rise of Iron, unlike the Taken King, is an add-on, not an overhaul. So what that means is the gear build you had in the Taken King, you can continue to use and can add light to it in order to get it to max light. If you didn't play the Taken King, the new system is simple. Get a piece of gear with higher light, use it to infuse into other like pieces of gear to raise its light level to match that of the item you infused into it. At the time of making this video, the current soft cap for max light is 385, but in a few days, when the hard mode raid comes out and the October update, light level cap will raise to 400. Thankfully, how you get there will stay the same. So first things first, you'll want to focus on only one of your characters at a time, as it will make leveling alts stupid easy in the future. So that said, play through the new campaign on your favorite character. As with all Destiny's new campaigns, when you're done you will receive a new item, in this case an exotic sword. You will also acquire many blue drops along the way. What you're going to want to do is choose your best or favorite set of armor and weapons and just infuse that one set with the drops you receive along the way. I highly recommend not including any exotics in this loadout. The reason being is you will be infusing often at first, and needing exotic shards to up a piece of gear will slow down your progression and use extra resources. We are trying to streamline the leveling process, so that gear should be left in your vault for now. Any exotic engrams you receive along the way from using 3 coins, you will want to hoard them and store them in your vault for later use. If you have a stock of old legendary equipment, it's time to melt them for marks, as you will need all the marks you can get since you won't be high enough light to run the daily story and see a strike list. When you're done with the campaign, you'll be at about 340 light, as basic blue drops are at 340. So after the campaign, the story will direct you to the new strikes. You can run these at 320 light. At the time of making this video, these strikes can drop in coded engrams as high as 365 if you are lucky, and 3 coins obviously still work on the bosses. Again, hoard those exotic engrams and any legendary engrams you might get along the way. After you have completed the quests that have you try the new strikes, head to Fell Winters, grab the bounties from Shiro, and then the other quests from the other NPCs in the area, and head to the Plague Lands. If you have any Vanguard rep boosters, now is a good time to use them, as one of the quests you will likely have will be to run lots of patrols, including some of the new ones like the quarantine patrols. Don't worry, the patrols are all at 320 light, so you shouldn't have any problem with any of them solo. As you are running patrols, make sure to attend any of the local events, like the Warsats and the Walkers. The Warsats are easy enough to solo at 340 light and up. The Walkers, you'll probably need one other person in the area to help with. First one of the day will net you 15 marks and a legendary engram, as well as various other items. As you run the patrols, make your way towards the Archons Forge. The Archons Forge and patrols will be your bread and butter until you are high enough light level to run the new strikes. There are 3 levels in the Archons Forge. The first 2 are easy even at 340 light, but the third one, the Perfected, are much harder as they are meant for 360 light and up, but obviously they have the best loot chances. So the Archons Forge is pretty straightforward. You will need a Siva offering. You can acquire those randomly from any mob in the Plague Lands. In a recent update, they changed it so that quarantine patrols will always drop offerings, and they have a high chance to drop after completing an event at the Archons Forge. So you should be able to get a good rotation of them going if there's multiple people in the forge while you're there. The Archons Forge has a chance to drop some really nice loot. If you find you are having problems finding other people at the Archons Forge, I have made a video explaining how to find people more consistently. And I'll put a link up to that video in the description below. I highly recommend watching it. As you acquire gear from the forge, if it is higher light, put it on, regardless of its perks or stats, because even at 340 light, the only forge events that are hard are the perfected offerings. So your equipment isn't going to make that big of a deal if it's got the wrong stats. Your drops are based off your light level and will be slightly higher than your current equipped gear, hence why you want to put on any gear as you get it right away. If you have the app on your phone, I highly recommend also pushing stuff into your vault as your inventory fills up so that you can always be equipping your highest items you get, so your level will continue to rise as you continue to grind out in the forge. And run the forge as long as you can, even when your inventory is full. Burn the green loot and keep going. And like I said, use the app. Anything you don't pick up will end up at the postmaster. Yes, you will get a stupid amount of class items. Keep hoarding legendary engrams and exotic engrams. I can't stress this enough. You want to save those for later. Once you've broken 350 light, you can start doing the daily missions and the Siva Heroic Strike playlist. FYI, these are very hard at 350 light, but they currently drop encoded blues at 365, and legendary engrams will decode as high as 385 after the October update. You will gain light much faster now, and with a steady source of incoming marks, you can now start to build and maximize a new set of equipment if you haven't already started this from your forge drops. Don't use the chest key they give you in the campaign to open a chest. Save it and wait until you get another one so that you will always have an extra in your inventory. You will need it for the exotic quest for Thorn. Trust me, you will thank me later as the keys don't drop often. Any high-level items you get that you don't need, store it in your vault for a little while so you can use it on your alts. The hardest items to acquire are ghosts and artifacts. You can get ghosts from the strikes, and after the October update you'll be able to get them from the forge too. Best source I found for ghosts that upped my light level was from leveling my factions and vendors. I seem to have gotten ghosts quite often. That and of course, class items. Artifacts, however, are even harder to acquire. You get them either by luck when decoding engrams or by raising your rep with Eris Morn. Quickest way I found to gain rep with Eris Morn was at the Court of Oryx. Like the Forge, to find others there, you will want to move through the loading areas at a very slow pace, giving the matchmaking system time to find you a group that is already there. Once you hit around 355 to 360 light, it's a good time to start decoding your legendary engrams that you've been saving up in your vault. Make sure to only decode one at a time though, then check the light of the new item and equip it or infuse it into whatever it is that you currently have equipped. This way you keep stepping up your light slowly but surely as you're decrypting your engrams, so you're not wasting any of your engrams.
Our history rests with you now.
Once you slow down though, around 365 to 370 light, start decoding exotic engrams. Exotic engrams have a high chance at decrypting at much higher light than a legendary can. This is the hard part though, if you're a collector like me. You're going to infuse those exotics into your legendary set. Don't worry, as any exotic you get can be replaced later from the kiosk now that you've acquired one. The reason for doing this, obviously, is because, like I said, the exotics have a chance at decrypting at higher light levels. And so you can get larger jumps on items that you are falling behind on, allowing you to level your light out more evenly. If you do get an exotic engram and you want to infuse that exotic into another exotic, I highly recommend that as well on your damage dealers like Gallarhorn and other heavy raid quality weapons.
Come back if you learn anything.
Also, at the end of each month is the Iron Banner. Even if you don't like PvP, you hate it, you despise it, I highly recommend doing the Iron Banner. You'll want to be at least 360 to 375 light to be effective, but it's the 6v6 play modes, so not as much as riding on your personal skills as these are team modes. Don't feel bad about camping or doing whatever you have to do to win. If you know a gun in the current meta is OP, then use that gun. Don't feel guilty by doing so, as the rewards from Iron Banner are well worth the effort and are well worth the tiny little guilt you feel when you're mowing people down with some OP gun. Iron Banner rains great loot. You want this loot. The weapons are fantastic. I will be making guides to these PvP modes in the future, and we'll add links to the videos in the description at a later date. And I'll also be doing some videos about the Iron Banner guns and some of the other guns that I think you will definitely want to have in your arsenal. But you do want this Iron Banner equipment. Besides the light levels that you get from it, it is good equipment. When running the Iron Banner, make sure to have a Crucible booster running. Leveling up your factions and vendors is a surefire way to max light. And that is pretty much it. Now, if you don't mind making new friends, I also highly recommend joining a clan of other like-minded players who are on the same time as you are. For example, I joined my first ever clan. It's a clan of people who live in my time zone, also have full-time jobs and kids. It has really changed my game experience, so I highly recommend it, even if you only join other members' activities when they invite you. You can still play on your own most all the time. If you're not a very social person, that's totally fine. You don't have to invite them to go do things, but they might see that you are of a good high light level, and they might message you to see if you want to join them for the raid. And I highly recommend doing that. Or you might join them for some strikes, Iron Banner, or hey, maybe even trials. The new clan features make gaming with your clanmates very easy, and they appear like a second friends list. So, like I said, play solo all you want. I still suggest being in a clan, just because trying to make parties together on looking for group, from my experience, has never been all that fun. And the new raid is lots of fun, and it's far simpler and shorter than previous raids, making it more casual friendly. Also, if you join a clan, you can work together to learn the mechanics without the worries of being flamed by randoms from looking for group. I'll be making a casual guide to the raid also, explaining all you need to know, so look for that one in the near future. Okay, well I hope this has been an informative video to all of you, and if you have any other info that you have learned along the way, please post it along in the comment section below to help out your other fellow Guardians with some hints and tips. Again, thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please hit the thumbs up button, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, so I'll be making more random videos like this one in the future. My name is Rainstater, and I'll see you at Bellwinter's Beat.
Guardian down.